Welcome, everyone. I'll be talking about my favorite team, the Golden State Warriors 2024-2025 schedule. It is somewhat analytical, but I just want to talk about it, obviously, since, I'm a fan and I'm excited to watch this team go, even though without Clay it will be weird. But we have some fun additions in terms of DeAnthony Melton, in terms of Buddy Hield, obviously. And that should be solid. That should be, pretty good. I'm really excited about Podziemski's second year, Kuminga's third year. I'm expecting big things from those two. Hopefully Moses Moody can get some playing time. We'll see what happens with Andrew Wiggins. Can he be, can he just find his earlier form with the Warriors? But he's just had such a unfortunate, road since winning the title, essentially. Everything's just been, life's been kicking his ass since, so I just hope he finds, enough familial and just peace outside of basketball for us at the end of the day. That's what matters more. And I think there was a report that he can go to China because some family issues, like yesterday, which, the dude can't catch a break since winning the title in terms of familial issues, and it's awful, man. It's awful. Can't imagine how that feels. So, all my goodwill and good thoughts to him. Hopefully, it will just all work out in the end. And let's get to the schedule, obviously. So, national televised games. We have the 36 nationally televised games with NBA TV. It's 24 without it. We have the second most nationally televised games when it comes to with NBA TV, and without NBA TV we have the third with the Knicks, I'm pretty sure. We have 14 back-to-backs, which is way better than last year from 17, which means 3 lesser back-to-backs, which is great. So obviously, the thing with back-to-backs is that I would say, I don't know if it was last year if it was that worse. Let me check actually. But this season it really is better in terms of back-to-backs, because it's 3 teams have 14, 6 teams have 13 back-to-backs, and then it's 15 and 16. So the difference in back-to-backs isn't that huge for every team, and I think that's great. While last season we had 17 as the only team, then there was no one with 16, and 15, 14, 13 was the norm last season, so that's kind of hilarious if you ask me. But yeah, last year was tough with the back-to-backs nonetheless, even though we had a 19-7 record in terms of back-to-backs last season. 9 of these back-to-backs this season will be at home, 5 on the road. That obviously bodes also well. We have 13 times we have 3 games in 4 days in terms of we play a game, then we have a rest, and then we have a back-to-back. And 11 times we have 3 games in 4 days when we play a back-to-back, have a rest game, and play a game right afterwards. As you can see, the X's are the games when the games are playing, and the circles are when the game is not played. We are tied for the most 3+ day rests, which I think is at 3 times we have 3+ day rests, which is awesome. That's obviously good. Good for our, Steph and Draymond's bodies, and tied for the most 2 days rests, which is also awesome. Overall, the rest should be better for us this season. While the strength of schedule is 8 for now at 0.5 of 516, which obviously doesn't bode well, but we're in the Western Conference, and on paper I don't think we're that great of a team, right? So it makes sense why we have a tough schedule. And we have the 4th most miles traveled in the NBA for this season. So those are some of the statistics. If you care, if you don't care, I also understand. But now let's talk about the games. I'll talk about the first 10 games, and then I'll just look over the schedule. I'll put it out there for you and just talk about the schedule, about the toughest games, toughest stuff, and everything. So first 10 games, 3 are at home, 7 on the road. Good start on the road, right? We start at Portland, which, that's a good way to start the season, right? At Portland is a game we have to win, obviously. That should be a gimme in a way, even though it obviously won't be for whatever reason. But, Steph loves playing in Portland. Portland obviously will not be playing for anything this season, very likely. They'll just be trying to develop Dalton Knecht, Scoot, even though those two could pose really, big problems for us. And overall, their team should pose some problems for us with their athleticism and youth and length and speed. But, I mean, if it's, as reported, Podziemski and Kuminga should be starting in a way. So we'll see how that works out, because that would mean probably Wiggins off the bench. And I would imagine it would go Steph, Podziemski, Kuminga, Draymond, and Trace, I suppose. Unless it would be Draymond at small ball 5 from the start of the season, and Kuminga and Wiggins would be starting. But that's how I would imagine it. So let me put it right here for you also. So it should be Steph, then still Podziemski very likely, Kuminga, Draymond, and Trace. While obviously off the bench we have Melton, Hield, Wiggins, Moody, and who else is that actually? God dog it. Let me just make sure I don't forget anyone. NBA roster, Golden State Warriors. I mean, obviously we have Quentin Post out there. Oh yeah, of course, GP2. GP2 will be out there somewhere. Start GP2 at the 4. Kyle Anderson, I completely forgot about Kyle Anderson actually. Kyle Anderson, which, I mean, that's a good addition. That's one of the bigger additions actually, right? Looney is out there. Maybe Looney will start again, because he'll be maybe in better shape since he got a lot of the time off last season. So that would make some sense. And Lindy Waters, those are probably the rotational players. Quinton Post maybe could get some time. So, I mean, I would expect something like this. Maybe it could be Kyle Anderson at somewhere out there and Draymond at the 5, or Wiggins, obviously. We'll see. But I think they will want to play Kuminga and Podz at the starting lineup. For sure Podz will be there, even though maybe it would make more sense to have it be Steph, Melton, Wiggins, Trace, I don't know. But some combination of that, obviously. So that will be really intriguing nonetheless. Where is the schedule? Here. So at Portland and at Utah are the first 2 games. On paper, that's a really good start, obviously. But at the start of the season, all teams play probably their best, their hardest. It will be also very different for us, because the Warriors usually had, one of those Tuesday, Thursday national TV primetime games, right, to open the season. And this time they do not have those. So that could be a bulletin board material. That could be obviously what helps them, or maybe it will be so weird that it will not help them. But in terms of favorability, at Portland and at Utah is a really good start to the schedule. Then we have the Clippers at home, the home opener on Sunday, which, I mean, Clippers should be a good team nonetheless. But at home against the Clippers usually goes our way. So that should be a good matchup and a good start to the season. And then we have a back-to-back with the Pelicans 2 days later. So that's one of the 3 and 4 games, one of these situations. So that will be an intriguing back-to-back against New Orleans. In terms of strength of schedule, New Orleans, I would say, is one of the worst matchups for us, because they pose so many athleticism differences between these teams. Maybe without Clay and with Podziemski, Kuminga in there, it could be a little better, but I don't know, right? That's a tough matchup on a back-to-back night, but you hope you win one of those, at least at home. Then at Houston, that's gonna be intriguing, but at Houston, that's a place Steph loves, obviously. At Washington is one of those gimmies. At Boston, it's gonna be a really tough one. And at Cleveland, none of those are back-to-back. It's always a game, rest, game, rest, game, rest. And game rest and final of our first 10 games is at Oklahoma. So, you would love at least like 6-4, 6-4, 7-3. If we're being, optimistic, you could go like 8-2 with losing to Boston and Oklahoma. But I don't expect us to beat the Pels both times. I expect us to lose at least 2 of these games here on the road trip. But I hope we do start like 4-1 with these games, right? I think we have to beat Portland and Utah, Clippers at home, and one of these home games we have to win, and that would be a great start to the season. Then just survive the road trip over 500, and we'll see what happens. But right after the first 10 games, it's Clay's return right afterwards. which will be obviously emotional and incredibly weird. But it is what it is. Then I also put out longest homestand, which is 7 games in March, which is instantly followed by a 6-game road trip, which is the longest road trip, even though we have 6-game road trip before the All-Star break, and we also have a road game right after the All-Star break. But that is in Sacramento, and the All-Star break is obviously in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, so I obviously count this more than the 6 games before the All-Star break and Sacramento afterwards. But we also finish off the season with, a really tough schedule, but, San Antonio at home, Portland away, and Clippers at home is not the worst way to finish. But let me just put it in here. Sorry for the so many tabs. But this is the schedule in the whole, as a whole. I'm just gonna do this so it's as big as possible in a way. Let me also do this. So when we look at these, right, like I said, we talked about the start of the season. We have one of the toughest strengths of schedule in terms of until December. We also obviously played the Christmas Day game against LA, so that will be intriguing. Here is the NBA Cup, which will be intriguing to see if we can get there. The NBA Cup games are, Tuesdays and Fridays, right? I mean, Tuesdays and, is it Fridays now? I think it's the Pelicans, Grizzlies. Let me actually check that right now. Hold on, let me check. Golden State Warriors. Warriors. What is it? NBA Cup 2024, 2025. Let's see. Games by month are also here. 14, jasně. Wait, fuck. Where is it? NBA Cup. Where is NBA Cup? All weekend home games, Martin Luther King. Okay. What the hell? Where is the NBA Cup? Preseason. NBA Cup schedule, there it is. So... Oh yeah, so we have the Mavericks, Nuggets, Grizzlies. That's our group actually. All right. That's tough. That's really tough. But I knew we had a tough group. So this is one of those games, right? Denver, Dallas, those are the Tuesday games, and I guess Memphis Pelicans here. That's gonna be tough. But I guess I'll do more of a video about this maybe later on, but I mean, there's not much else to talk about. This road trip before the All-Star break will be tough, obviously. The road trip by the end of the season, which goes from, end of March to start of April, will be tough. Then also back-to-back against Denver instantly, which will be just an awful back-to-back. But, I mean, looking at the schedule, I'm a more optimistic guy right now, right? The start of the season, like I said, I'm optimistic about that, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that was my talk about the schedule. Let me know your thoughts about the schedule, and as always, be kind to yourself and to others, and I'll catch you all whenever, wherever.